we were very scared that the engines will stop at any moment because there was so much of the temperatures and the pressures were rising so high. Luckily, we were able to control that the engines didn't stop. But unfortunately, after 20 minutes, I received another call from the bridge that you can come on top on the bridge and the vessel and the pirates are on board.
Welcome to the Shipping Podcast, where I meet interesting maritime professionals sharing their passion for the shipping industry and their everyday job. I am your host. My name is Lena Gothberg. Hello and welcome to episode 239 of the Shipping Podcast. This is where maritime professionals talk about what's close to their heart, the maritime industry, and their role. Today's episode is a delightful surprise. A few weeks ago, I was unexpectedly invited to the new International Maritime Radio, Sailor Today, to discuss the Shipping Podcast. After a while, Captain Sunil Nangia asked if I could do a joint interview with a former seafarer who had been in pirate captivity for more than 7 months. Of course, what an interesting story to hear. I was sure that this interview would be released only on their feed and that I would be the sidekick. Well, here we are. I am pleased to introduce you to Mr. Chirag Bahri, now the International Operations Manager at the International Seafarers Welfare and Assistance Network, ISWAN. You will also hear Mr. Ryan Lobo, the Sailor Today radio app producer. Before we start, don't listen to this episode with children around. The story is scary and some foul language is used.
Every conversation matters.
So thank you so much, Lena and Chirag, for joining us here today. Lena, we have given you the honor of conducting this interview. Since you have the Shipping Podcast and you've been doing it for so long, I really appreciate that you have joined us here. And Mr. Chirag, obviously it's an absolute honor to have you because not many people would have the courage to talk about what you have gone through. And we are really interested in talking about this. So thank you so much. Lena, I give the floor to you.
Nice to meet you.
Same here.
And welcome to our show here today. Could you please give us a little bit about your background? Who are you and where are you situated in the world?
Thank you very much, Lena, and thank you very much, Ryan, for having me here. It's an absolute privilege and honor for me to be on your podcast today. So my name is Chirag Bahri. I'm a former seafarer, joined the shipping industry in the year 2004, and since then have been sailed on various vessels, all cargo, mostly the cargo and offshore vessels. Since 2012, I have not been sailing and I've been working on the welfare of seafarers. Presently, I'm working for the ISWAN, the International Seafarers Welfare and Assistance Network, which is a charity based in UK, and I'm based in India, Delhi.
So I understand you are a chief engineer. You have been sailing as an engineer. What kind of ships were you sailing?
So I started off my career with the bulk carriers, and I was with the bulk carriers for about 5 years. And then I shifted towards oil tankers. And I also worked on a couple of offshore vessels. And basically on oil and chemicals, I have sailed with most.
And going back to 2010, what happened to you then?
Yeah, so that's a very horrific story, in fact, and that has changed the entire life. And I never expected that I'll be doing this work today, but I'm honored that I'm in part of this entire thing. So in 2010, I was on a vessel called Marina Margaret. It was a chemical carrier, and it was carrying cargo from India to Belgium to discharge in Belgium. On the 8th of May, 2010, when my vessel was crossing the Gulf of Aden, we were about to enter the high-risk zone and into the international corridor, basically. So one of that day, the 8th of May, as I mentioned, around 2:30 to 3 in the afternoon, I was still in the engine room. We were doing our shifts, and we heard from the bridge about, the pirates are chasing us and that it seems like somebody's chasing and we need the full power of the engines. So we were able to provide that thing. We started our generators and everything was done. But suddenly, in the next 15 to 20 minutes, we saw a lot of maneuverings. There were harsh maneuverings happening, and we were not having any clue, the engine room, especially me and my crewmate, that what's happening on the bridge, what's going on exactly, because there were harsh maneuverings happening, and that was not advisable when you are doing a full speed or full power. And we were very scared that the engines will stop at any moment because there was so much of the temperatures and the pressures were rising so high. Luckily, we were able to control that the engines didn't stop. But unfortunately, after 20 minutes, I received another call from the bridge that you can come on top on the bridge and the vessel and the pirates are on board. And there was very anxious call and very distressing call which came in. And I thought somebody is just fooling us and it could be just a prank. And we thought, okay, let's wait for a few minutes. Maybe somebody is doing a prank on us. And let's wait for another couple of minutes and see. And obviously, we were getting worried what's happening. But then after 5 minutes, again, we received a call. Again, this time a more distressed one. Why the hell have you not been on the bridge? And come on immediately. And then it was a time when we realized that something is definitely wrong because the person who was speaking on the other side of the phone was shivering. And then you can recall that there is something wrong. Myself and my crewmate, we started going up on the bridge from the inside the accommodation. And as soon as we were reaching the bridge door, we started hearing voices coming in inside the bridge, threatening voices and the loud screams and a lot of that stuff. So we got obviously scared as human beings. And my crewmate mentioned to me, let's go down and hide ourselves in the bilges and all that. But then I think the good senses prevailed that we decided, no, it should not be done because the pirates will ultimately find it out. And at that time, it will be more difficult for us to handle. We decided, okay, let's go up. Let's face the consequence because it's going to be same for everyone. If we have to die, let's all die together. So we knocked the door and then we saw the pirates standing with the AK-47 on our heads, pointing on our heads. And that time I got totally blanked. I can't remember what happened to me for the next 2-3 minutes, how I was pulled inside the bridge room and when I just realized after 2-3 minutes, I saw I was sitting just in front of all the crew members on the side of the bridge and all the crew members were besides it and two pirates were pointing gun on us. And then I started looking at them. Who are they? What type of clothes? First of all, how do they look like? And are these pirates? I was asking myself. Are these the pirates? Because we thought that, there will be people who will come in the military uniform, some kind of thing. Here we were seeing people coming in with a vest or a small torn t-shirts and, the piece of cloth around their bottoms and, and the sleepers, not even the shoes. And I was saying, really, are these pirates? And then again, the second thought came in. We were sitting right in the front of all the crew members on the side of the bridge and said the first will be two of us because if the bullets are gonna fire, we are definitely gonna go. I don't know how many others will get saved or will die. At least we won't survive from here. And then I started cursing myself and started abusing myself. Why the hell I joined this ship? Why the hell I came? I had the opportunity to sign off. Why did I decided to go on? A lot of that thoughts came in. What will happen to my family now? Like we were just thinking of the worst to happen, that they definitely are gonna kill us. Because some of these pirates were also firing up in the bridge wings on the air because I think there was some chase by the helicopters, naval helicopters and all that. And there was another ship which was passing by, which had armed security guards. Unfortunately, we didn't have. So they were also trying to fire on these pirates to scare them, but when the damage has been already done. So they were, I think they were trying to scare the crew members and everyone. And we were getting panicked about it, that what they're going to do to us.
What about the ship? What was happening? Was it still full steam ahead, or was it on autopilot, or what happened whilst you were all on the bridge?
We were all on the bridge, but the master was asked to monitor. It was still on autopilot, and master was monitoring the vessel movement. And the pirates were asking him to change the course of the vessel to Somalia. However, he was taking his own time to do that because he needs to verify a lot of stuff and he needs to get the right things done. And, the next 45 minutes, as I said, were the negotiations were going on between the pirates and the master on that front. You change the course, you take the ship, and the pirates were also extremely panicking that this is the main time that no external force should come in and take over the vessel or something. So they were extremely cautious about it as well. They were on the move to threaten anyone who comes in or do not follow the instructions and all that. So obviously the master changed the course and we started moving on a different course altogether. And then after about an hour time, there were 6 of the pirates who came on the vessel.
And how did they enter the ship? Do you know that by now?
Yeah, they put on a big ladder on the side of the ship, and they just it was a chemical tanker fully loaded, just about 3 meters drop, which was very easier for them. We made mistakes. I will call it in that way, that we started maneuvering in such a way that it further reduced the speed of the vessel. We were doing about 12, 13 knots on that particular day. But then because of the extreme maneuvering that we did, the speed of the vessel reduced to about 6 or 7 knots. It became very easy for the pirates. Hey, come on, welcome, thought of that. But
Yeah, but were you told that on beforehand, or how would you have known what to do?
no. That's what I'm saying, that we were not given any trainings. We didn't have any awareness about how to respond, how to do the things, during the time of attack, after the attack, all that things thereafter, all that has come to the learning points from myself as well, and how we have put together the things for the other seafarers across the globe to now be able to respond to these crises more effectively.
Good. What happened then? When did you get in contact with the ship owner, or when did someone realize that you were under attack?
Well, the company was fully aware that we are under attack. The master and was continuously in touch with the DPA during the time of attack. So the company was very well aware. And I think once they reached Somalia in about 2 days' time, somehow they managed to bring a lot of Somalians on board, about 50 to 60. We were about 3 miles away from the land. And they got these different pirates or the main, different investors kind of stuff. They came on board and they were very happy because it was a German-owned vessel. They said, wow, we've got a German vessel, so it's like a golden fish for us. So they were extremely happy that we got so much. And during the entire 2 days, they looted us several times, the 6 pirates. Whatever we had, everything was looted away, even the clothes, even the shoes, jackets, whatever we had. Then afterwards, when these 50, 60 pirates came, they started again searching for whatever has been left behind to take away. They were even wanted to pull down the curtains from the ship and take away. And then we thought, oh, keep it there. The TVs, they said, okay, let's take it. No, we said, no, keep it here. This is not for you. So, everything they wanted to take away. But then somehow, after that, around 15 days, for the next 15 days, it was extremely difficult. We had no clue what's happening. After that, one of the Somali negotiator, who is a US return, he used to say himself as a US return, and his English accent was also a US English, but a Somali, that he has come here to help us, help the crew members. And he said, these pirates are not good. I'm running this NGO against them in Somalia. And we were wondering why then Somalis have brought you in if you're running an NGO against them. So he gave a lot of, his speech to us, trying to convince that I'm one of you and not one of them. But after an hour, we saw him eating kath, the green grass that pirates keep on chewing to just keep them awake and all. So that it's a stimulating drug. And so they keep on chewing that, and he was with them. And then we realized that what personality he is. He was in jail because he was captured by the US government after our attack, because he was also involved in the killings of the 4 Americans. We took part in the trials, and I think he's no more now. He's already dead in the prison. So what I want to say that, this guy, he then created a lot of difficulties for the ship, for the people on board, because he was the only one who knew English, and he was the one who could translate our things to the pirates and get the things done for us. But instead of doing that, he used to pitch pirates against us. He used to try to give them some other, I think, stories about the crew members, how they are thinking about it. And so, it was very difficult for the crew members in the next coming days to actually do anything. He started negotiating with the company, and then he realized that from the Google, he picked up what is the value of the cargo which was on the ship. What it's a German vessel, so obviously the pricing has gone high. So they initially demanded $15 million from the company in about after 15 or 20 days of being kidnapped, or the vessel was hijacked. And after that, the negotiation started. It took a long time for the company to first of all come back on how much is their first offer. If I'm not wrong, it was something less than a 1 million. That was the first offer from the company. And we were thinking, we had no information about how does this kind of negotiations look like. Why the companies, because we were very hopeful. We had no information on how these negotiations actually happens. We were thinking that, oh, they are asking 15, company will just say, give them 15 and then we'll go out and it will be done. On the other side, when the company said point something 7 or a point 8, and we said, wow, is that company? And we had no idea, it's all a protracted negotiation. This is how it works. You offer something, then they come back on, they will reduce their negotiations, and then the company will make a second offer available. That information was not available with us anymore. During the captivity period, we started reading each and every book we had on the ship. You on the ship, you get a lot of these magazines, books, and everything. In your normal sailing days, do not allow us to go through all that books.
So the books are the only thing that the pirates did not steal.
The books were because they could not read it because they were in English. So, we started reading some of these articles, and then we came to know there was an article about the Citadel in that one of these books. What do you mean by Citadel? Citadel is a safe place on board ship, actually. And so we came to know, oh, there is a concept about Citadel. Have we been known before about the concept of Citadel? We might have tried to save ourselves at that scenario. But unfortunately, that was the first time I heard the word Citadel during my captivity.
And did this particular ship have a Citadel?
Yes, now most of the ships have Citadel.
No, but your ship at that time?
No, we didn't have the Citadel. So it's basically the safest place on board ship. It's like you have been, given extra locks and everything have been created in a way that the pirates will not enter your place or will not be able to do. And that's all about the buying time from the pirates so that the international naval forces or the law enforcement agencies can come and rescue you once all the crew members are inside the Citadel. But having said that, the first 1 month, we were just on the bridge. We tried negotiating with the pirate leader, this negotiator, to get us back in our cabins so that we can at least, because till that time we were just living on the floor, and then the food and everything. The first month we had the stores, so the cook used to go. They used to prepare the food and then used to bring on the bridge itself. We can't go down, first of all, but the engine room team has to work because your generators are running. When you are in anchorage, you have the consumption of fuel is going on and everything. We were hopeful that maybe in the first 15 days, 1 month time, we will come out of it. So, we had that fuel for a month. We had the fuel, we had the water, we had the food and everything for a month. So we were very hopeful that within a month, the company will get us out. We have been known that, that it can take few weeks to months. We could have started preserving the things or spending our resources in such a way that we could save some more water and food and everything, or we could have done some rationing around it. Unfortunately, we realized after a month or 2 months when the fuel started getting lower, and it was about 1.5 months somewhere, we told the pirates that we are running now low on fuel, we need fuel. And then the hope was there. Now that we are running low on fuel, the pirates will definitely leave us. They will agree about the companies. The different hopes were getting inside us that maybe this is the time the pirates will realize that, oh, the fuel is not there. What will I going to do with the ship? They will just take whatever company is giving and leave us. But what they did was they asked us to open each and every tank of on-board ship because they didn't trust it on us. So, and who will open the tank? The engineer will open the tank. That's the simple word. Unfortunately, some of my crew members said, we are in hijack conditions, so we're not going to work. So again, there was a very difficult time for people on board on how do you manage your own crew members. We learned a lot from that thing that it's extremely tough to manage your own people. We knew from our hearts that the pirates are not good. So we don't expect them to have a good relationships with them. But then how the crew members, how each and every human being reacts in different crisis situation. We had no information about that before as well. There we started learning about it, different attitudes.
How many crew members were you on board, and what nationalities were there?
We were about 22 of us, mostly 19 Indians, one Ukrainian and two Bangladeshis. So it was like the Ukrainian was alone. He was the ex-Navy chap, and unfortunately, he was beaten a lot because one of the crew members informed the pirates that he's ex-Navy, and the pirates were very susceptible about him. Oh, he's gonna be informing the pirates, or he's gonna be calling the navies and all that, and he will try to do something harm. And the first 2 months, we saw that master and the chief engineer was beaten very badly because of it. And
so what did it do with, I mean, I understand you are 22 people on a ship and you are going to survive, and the team is, there has to be, how did it change during the time? Did you become more friends or less friends, or did you become sort of enemies within the group, or how did it work?
So different sets of groups were formed. People who have different ideas and different mindsets, they went closer to each other. Some people were praying to God that please allow the ship to be there for about 8 or 10 months so that we can complete our sea time and then go home. Others resisted that idea. No. We really want to go home today. We don't want money. We don't want sea time. Okay. So there were different mindsets of people out there in the group. When you have different type of thoughts and we are not able to express it, clearly, because you have restrictions on how much you can really talk to with each other, then the clashes will start happening because you're not able to fully understand each other's point of view as well. And then you will have that conflict start building up. And then some of them were trying to get more advantage from the pirates. And again, it's a debatable issue whether that person was right or wrong. I'm not going to that part. But then again, that led to a lot of struggle for the entire crew members because of that, like, oh, the chief engineer is not good, the master is not good, he's something saying against you. If you give me a phone to call my family, I'll give you some more information about the company. I'll get you some more information about how many ships company has, how much money they might have. Again, as a seafarer, I have no information how much money will owner will have, how much ships, in fact, that particular owner might have invested, whatever. I have nobody to answer that part. It only will lead to delay of your negotiations part because the ultimate idea of the company is to break down the mindset of the pirates that there is no money. And we realize that the crew members were made born in all of these things. Some crew members will come and say, my father knows somebody, my mother knows somebody, so they can try. So then the pirates will pressurize that seafarer in that scenario. And then they realize that, oh, this is not happening. This is actually putting a difficult situation on us. So these are all the different learning points we gathered actually from all of these incidents. For every seafarer, we understood. Even for me, my family, I was not aware. My family went to the media because some of my schoolmates, they work in the media channels and all. They brought in the media vans and everything. They interviewed my family and it came out in the media during that time. And the pirate, they had no food and water to eat on land, but they have a very good internet system. They brought a clipping from the internet. This is your family? I said, yes. They have gone in media. They're appealing to the minister. So now you must go and pressurize your family. But what they will do is they will give me a minute's call to talk to my family and say, the pirates are going to kill me. If you're not going to pay, then they will kill me up. And then you hang up the phone. Then I realized this is not why I really wanted to tell my family, because now they will have no answer. They will not be able to understand what has happened to me till the next time I give them a call. And I don't know whether they're going to be survive after this news. So, this is what the learnings we gathered from people reacting differently in situations. So yes, some people, we understood that because they were very anxious, they were very stressed, so they reacted differently. But some people went out of the way to support each other as well, to try to be there with their difficult times, emotional times. Okay, maybe some days were difficult for me. So some crew members used to come and say, okay, let's come together. We'll go home one day. Don't lose hope. The other day, they used to be down. Then I used to go and tell them, okay, we are all in this thing together. We have spent already 4 months here now. Let's see, maybe in the next 1 month, I'm sure that, pirates are getting fed up and they will release us. So have a trust, something like that. So that keeps on giving you emotional boosting your moral support and all that at that difficult time, because you're not allowed to call your families for the next, till the time you're in captivity.
So at the end of this terrible story, how were you saved or released from that?
In the between, we even lost our hopes of survival because they were torturing us, brutally assaulting us. We had a lot of physical trauma. We were one of the first ships which came out and reported about it, that the kind of trauma and the physical tortures happened. And I think after that, I think the company also realized that they need to speed up the negotiations. And around when it was 7 months of the captivity, the company agreed to pay the money to the pirates. And that's how, the deal was happened. Then they negotiated about how the money will be sent, which date it will be sent, how many dollars, how many $100 notes, all that specifications were discussed with them. They identified the areas where the money will be dropped by chartered plane and how the crew count will happen. So this all happened on the 27th of December 2010. And we were finally able to set sail on 28th, the next day, when the final batch of pirates left the ship. After they had counted each and every money, they used to bring money on board. They will have machines to verify whether it's fake money or not, and they will count everything. They will distribute it among the entire village. About 300, 400 pirates, or I would say pirates, or maybe the Somalis, they came on board to take the money, what was distributed. And finally, we were left with no fuel in our tanks. And then we were wondering, how do we move now? What we asked them? I said, we can't move much. Even if we are going to move, we're going to not go much far. What if the other pirate gang will come and capture us? They said, take this number, give this number to them, and tell them to call us, and we will tell them not to capture you anymore.
Oh my God. So there is a network doing this, yeah. So you sailed to the nearest port, or where did you go from there? And how did you get the fuel?
So now the company was able to send small barge with the armed guards on it at the same point from where we were released. And we refueled ourselves. We took some water, food, and some emergency spares because we had no space left to run our engines and machinery. So we needed some spares. And with that support, we were able to then the armed security guards, 3 of them, they boarded the vessel and they took us along to Salalah in Oman. So after 7 days of slow steaming, because the entire hull, which was already have a lot of aqua and everything, and we could not move around. And so we reached Salalah around on the 4th January, if I'm not wrong. And then investigators from Germany, the police team, they came on board, they investigated everything. They took the specimens, the fingerprints and DNAs of the pirates. And it was so lovely to see that the kind of professionalism the German police demonstrated for the next 2 days when they were on board. And the way they interacted with us, they were very supportive. They were extremely professional, I would say. And that's how they collected the evidence. And 2 of the pirates were then afterwards nabbed. And the negotiator, the third one who was in jail, they provided critical evidence about his presence on board. So I think they did a wonderful job after that.
When did you reach back home to your family? How long did that take?
It was the 7th of January that I landed in India.
Oh, just can't imagine what they were feeling. I mean, they were, of course, very worried about you.
It was a very horrific day for me as well, because I lost my mother actually during my captivity and I had no information about that. And when I landed in India, that was a time when it was disclosed to me. Unfortunately, that incident has happened. So, a lot of things went on in my personal life after that incident. And it's not because of all of that I have left shipping. I went back again to sail, in fact.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
How long did that take? When did you do that?
It was in 2011. I went back again for sail for 2 months. And it was on a near coastal vessel in India, so that I don't have to sail out in the international waters. But it was a 50,000 tonner tanker. So, I wanted to, because there was a lot of questions were being asked to me. You've been to the piracy, so you can't do anything much now. The entire life is going to waste for you. What are you going to do? The society will not leave you anywhere and then I said, no, I need to prove to myself that I'm fine. I'm fit and fine. I can do really well again if I am. But at that time, because after coming home, I was doing a lot of work also for the other families who were still in captivity, and their companies have already run away or they were not getting much support. So, basis my experience on what are the right stakeholders they can really approach, I was trying to guide them on what they can do, how they can, reach these stakeholders. And then I was in touch with the ITF about it, who came to listen to our stories as well. And then they asked me to contribute into the Maritime Piracy Humanitarian Response Program, which was in the development stage at that time. And that's how the journey started in 2012, that they asked me to take over as a regional director for the South Asia region. And I had no clue what I need to do with that, because as a seafarer, you know your engines, you do know your machineries, but how you deal with the humans, I started learning about it during my course of time.
Well, it's a different story to deal with humans, I think. But I mean, did you feel that you were sort of in charge of your own journey again? Did you get back on that horse, so to say, when you came out again to sea?
I never felt that I'm alone in this all thing. I always felt that there's so many people who need our support, just a phone call in their difficult time. And if I can just give them a small hope to survive, if I can try doing that, that's it. I just went with that hope in my eyes that maybe what I have faced when I came home and that terrible news what I heard, none of the other seafarers should ever have that news. And with that thing, I kept this mission alive. And I thought that maybe if by any chance I give them a call and let them know that no, the pirates are not going to kill your husband, not your son. Just look after yourself in this time. I may not be able to do everything for them. I may not be able to bring their people back. That's not my capacity to do that. But at least just a regular catch up with them, or how you're doing. Do you need anything I can do for you? Is there any emergencies at home that we can try to refer to somebody else who can try and help you out? With that hope, I just went out.
Are you still in contact with any of the people you were together with?
Many of them. In fact, 2 days back, I was so pleased, and I'm still very happy. That's you can say, my wonderful feeling I had, that I just wanted to share with that. One of the seafarer who was in captivity for 4 years in Somalia, an Indian seafarer, his son was in class 11th or class 12, a secondary class, and not in the college yet. And since then, I have been counseling him at that time, what stream they need to take. And I really helped, we were there in touch with the family, the 2 sons. Now he's completed his college. He's now in the Indian Navy. And he called me 2 days back just to thank. And I said, how do you remember me? So he said, we'll keep on remembering you for the entire of our life. And I was like, this is all what this is the best thing I can never hear from anyone. So I was so pleased about this call. And I'm sure if he's the one who's going to listen to it, he will remember about it. And so now he's grown up. So he asked me, if you are going to be there in my hometown next time, I'm going to host you. So give me a chance. I said, wow, you have grown up so much. This is something which I will cherish for my entire life, I think. This is how the families, and still, you beat any festival, anything, even one of the seafarer, a young seafarer, first time on board, was there for 4.5 years in captivity. Every time he comes home from his ship, he's still sailing again. So, and he messaged me the first day. He goes on ship. He messaged me, sir, I'm going home. I'm going back on ship. See you in after 4 or 5 months. Any festival happens, so many families, because in India, they have so many festivals. Everybody celebrates differently, north, south, But I may not be celebrating their festivals, but they message me. I went to Oman last year in March. One of the family has now shifted over there. I just posted on my Facebook that I'm going to Oman for a business event. They came to me at the same hotel the same evening, the entire family, and I was so humbled. So that's, I think this is something which I will not forget in my entire life. That I feel that we have done at least something for them in their bad time, and that's how they remember us.
You are making a difference, Chirag. I believe that you are definitely doing something really good for the seafarers. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you're doing for ISWAN, and what is ISWAN, and how does that make a change?
So after the piracy program, merged into ISWAN in 2015 because of the decline in piracy, I went into ISWAN. I came into ISWAN, and then in India, at that time in 2015-16, nobody was aware about ISWAN. It was a very new organization at that time. And my task was to then look into how we can build up some of these program around, health and well-being for the seafarers in general, beyond piracy. Can we make more awareness among the seafarers about their health and well-being is also important. Then we started off with just one member team. Now we have about 5 people in India, and we have been growing about that from there. And it's like we're doing different programs and projects, not only now in India, we also have a very, active office in the Philippines as well. We have got a lot of ambassadors across the globe as well. So we are using their expertise to help us in network in different countries. So ISWAN is basically a seafarers welfare charity based in UK. It's an international charity. We offer a 24/7 seafarer health helpline for the seafarers, which is confidential. It is multilingual, and again, it works on different platforms. So any seafarer or their family across the globe with any nationality, whether they're a member of any union or not, they can approach this helpline. They can seek support. The support again ranges from, I want to go on ship. I'm not getting a job. Obviously, we can't help much with a job seeking, but then we guide them how they can work best, to the range of like, somebody has cheated me, somebody has taken away money from me, which is very common, in some of the developing nations where the labor supplies are coming in, or to the range of like, I'm feeling, my husband has got injured and we need emergency financial support, to the level of depression, anxiety, family, seafarer relationship issues are coming up a lot nowadays. Bullying, harassment issues are coming up because of the women seafarers now getting on board ships. So those we're doing a lot of work around the DEIs and the women seafarers a lot as well. And a lot of cases around the suicide preventions and, ideations that keeps coming to the helpline, where the team is very versed on handling some of these things. We also have counselors on the helpline that provides these services to the seafarers or the families as the need may be. And then we work with different work partners across the globe in recognizing how can we work on different programs and projects. We also launched the Social Interaction Matters project, where we are trying to again bring back the crew cohesion on ship. People have now better internet facilities on board, so they try to stay away. They don't interact with each other. So we always believe that people have to talk to each other. People have to come together as a team to do the things. And it's again a big safety issue if people don't know each other, people don't talk to each other. So with that, we are trying to build up social ambassadors on board that they can initiate some kind of, activities, social activities on board. And that's something which is already ongoing on. We are running campaigns in India and the Philippines, in India around the fraudulent crewing agent issue, in Philippines about the ambulance chasing project issue. We are reaching out to a lot of younger cadets and ratings in the maritime colleges itself, that before you pass out, these are the essential things that you need to keep in mind. One of that things is about how do you handle the crisis situation? How do you handle the piracy situation? Beyond that, what do you do if somebody is going to ask you money for a job? If you're not getting a placement from your college, if an agent comes to you and say, I'll place you on board, pay me money, what are you going to do? What checks and balances you need to keep in mind? What are the risks you are going to take? And obviously around understanding your health and well-being, that ultimately your health and well-being is the topmost thing. How do you need to take care of it when you go on board ship? Maybe the first few days are very difficult to adapt for a younger seafarer, but then how do you adapt to the new atmosphere altogether? So the seniors and the juniors, the work routines, the fatigue will come in, but how do you actually cope up with all of that? So those kind of discussions we have with the younger generation.
What was the thing that you learned during your time in captivity? What is the things that you have taken on personally after that?
I think one of the most important thing is about the understanding your own self and your family. How important are they for you? Before, maybe you can say I was not very, they're saying, okay, my family, you're not devoting a lot of time for your family. But now I think I've realized that, the family is very important. It's extremely how you maintain your relationships with them. It's difficult sometimes. Again, I said the human things are extremely difficult. But importance of having family members together is absolutely crucial. Besides that, I think a more of spirituality has come in. I remember on our ship, we were, some of the seafarers never used to pray and in their life, but during captivity, they started praying and they started at least believing in that. I think be humble. It's one thing which I have learned is all about, just be humble, be down to earth, keep believing in yourself and doing things for the good of the, you will get somewhere. You will not be, maybe in the initial stages, you will get a lot of roadblocks, you will get a lot of resistance to move around. But then if you are keep doing the right things in your life, you will head the way. And this is what my beliefs are, after that incident happened. So that's where my mantra is going on. Keep doing the right things. As far as you are able to justify that, that's right on my part. And I'm not saying that we are always right, but then keep believing in yourself that you are doing the right things for the right people, and then move ahead with that.
Thank you, Chirag. Thank you for participating today. It was really, really interesting to hear all about what you have experienced and all the good advice that you can share with the community of seafarers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lena. Thank you. It was lovely to meet you today. And thank you very much, Rayan, for arranging all that.
Thank you, Lena and Chirag. We really appreciate your time on this podcast, on this radio episode for Sailor Today. Chirag, you have a ton of experiences that you would probably like to share in more detail. And we would love to do another episode like this with you at a later date whenever you're available.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Every conversation matters.
Thank you, Chirag, for sharing your story also with my audience. I recommend episode 33 with Sue Williams, which was recorded in 2016, for those of you who are interested. Sue used to be a hostage negotiator, and she speaks about pirate attacks from the other side of the fence, from the negotiator's point of view. I will put a link in the show notes, but you can also go to shippingpodcast.com and search for Sue, and you will find it. That's all for now. I have more exciting interviews for you, but until the next time, from me to you, over and out. Thank you for listening to the Shipping Podcast. Don't forget to tell everyone that you meet that there is a shipping podcast available and that they should download it and listen to the maritime professionals who are sharing their passion for the shipping industry.